Best helicopters you can buy as a civilian right now. One of these civilian helicopters is a demilitarized Cold War attack machine capable of hitting 190 miles per hour, and anyone with a private pilot's license can legally buy one today. There are 8 elite helicopters you can own as a civilian right now. This is every single one. In 1966, the Bell 206 JetRanger entered service as the world's quintessential light turbine utility helicopter, establishing a silhouette so iconic that it became the universal symbol for general aviation rotorcraft. Originally designed to compete for a United States Army light observation contract, its commercial variant went on to see more than 7,300 airframes built, dominating airborne law enforcement, corporate transport, and news broadcasting across 5 continents for over half a century. Powered by a single Allison 250 C20J turboshaft engine, producing 420 shaft horsepower, the JetRanger cruises comfortably at 134 miles per hour, while carrying up to 5 occupants with a practical flight range exceeding 400 miles. In my opinion, the JetRanger is the absolute gold standard of turbine reliability. A machine so structurally bulletproof that buying a well-maintained used airframe is often a much smarter financial decision than buying a brand-new piston aircraft. But while classic turbine engines offer proven dependability, their overhaul and inspection costs can be prohibitive for casual private flyers, which paved the way for the most successful piston helicopter ever manufactured. In 1979, the Robinson R44 Raven II was introduced as a 4-seat light general aviation helicopter, engineered to make private rotorcraft ownership financially attainable for everyday pilots. Designed by Frank Robinson around a simplified 2-bladed teetering rotor system and a lightweight tubular steel airframe, more R44s have been produced than any other civilian helicopter in the 21st century, commanding the global flight training and private ownership markets. Driven by a Lycoming IO 540 6-cylinder, fuel-injected piston engine generating 245 horsepower, it achieves a maximum cruising speed of 130 miles per hour and can land in tight backyards or remote clearings that larger aircraft could never dream of approaching. If you ask me, the R44 is the single most practical gateway into helicopter ownership on Earth, offering 4-seat utility and cross-country freedom at a fraction of the operating and maintenance costs of an entry-level turbine. And speaking of aircraft that make private aviation accessible, if you are enjoying this breakdown of rotorcraft you can actually buy, the next complete buyer's lineup is already scripted and ready for production, so hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss it. Now, while piston engines keep maintenance budgets manageable, serious mountain flying and utility operations demand a high-altitude turbine workhorse that can conquer the tallest peaks on the planet. In 1974, the Airbus H125, originally legendary under the designation Eurocopter AS350 Écureuil, or A-Star, took flight as a lightweight, single-engine turbine helicopter built for extreme environmental performance. In May 2005, a stock AS350 shattered aviation records forever by flying to the rooftop of the world, landing on and successfully taking off from the summit of Mount Everest at 29,035 feet above sea level without supplemental ground assistance. Equipped with a Safran Ariel 2D turboshaft engine producing 847 shaft horsepower, it hits a maximum speed of 178 miles per hour while hauling an external sling load capacity that can literally lift heavier cargo than its own empty weight. To me, the H125 is the undisputed king of high-altitude vertical lift, a machine that effortlessly outperforms complex twin-engine competitors when the air gets thin and the mission requires raw, uncompromising lifting power. Yet while the H125 excels at heavy lifting in the mountains, some civilian owners don't want a cargo mule. They want an agile aerial sports car that maneuvers like a fighter jet. In 1983, the MD-500E arrived on the civilian market as an ultra-responsive light turbine utility helicopter whose DNA is traced directly back to the military Hughes OH-6 Cayuse Scout platform. famous around the globe for its compact teardrop fuselage and high skid stance. The aircraft features a 5-bladed, fully articulated main rotor system that delivers instantaneous cyclic response and allows pilots to thread through tight urban canyons or forest clearings with razor-sharp precision. Powered by a Rolls-Royce 250 C20B turbine engine pushing 420 shaft horsepower, it reaches a top cruising speed of 160 miles per hour with a blistering climb rate exceeding 1,900 feet per minute. My verdict on the MD-500E is that it is the closest thing a civilian pilot will ever get to flying a street-legal fighter jet. An aerial Ferrari that trades cabin room and luggage space for pure, adrenaline-pumping control authority. But when your typical passenger list includes corporate executives and heads of state rather than thrill-seeking pilots, cabin space and twin-engine safety become the only metrics that matter. In 1977, the Sikorsky S-76 was deployed as a medium-sized, twin-engine commercial helicopter built from day one to deliver airline-style comfort and safety to corporate VIPs and offshore oil operators. Unlike utility helicopters modified for passenger use, the S-76 was designed from the ground up with retractable landing gear, a spacious stand-up cabin, and vibration-damping acoustics so effective that passengers can conduct normal boardroom conversations in flight without wearing headsets. Driven by twin Pratt & Whitney Canada PW210S turboshaft engines, producing 1,050 shaft horsepower each, it cruises effortlessly at 178 miles per hour across a 500-mile range while meeting the strictest Category A one-engine and operative safety standards. I believe the S-76 is the ultimate status symbol in private aviation. A flying executive suite that offers uncompromising twin-engine redundancy and prestige for owners who refuse to fly in anything less than a corporate flagship. However, maintaining a complex twin-engine executive aircraft requires an entire maintenance department, which prompted engineers to design a modern, single-pilot turbine machine that brings 21st-century digital automation to the private owner. In 2014, the Bell 505 JetRanger X was introduced as a clean-sheet light turbine helicopter, engineered to serve as the direct, high-tech successor to the legendary 206 series. Instead of relying on decades-old analog steam gauges, the 505 is built around a fully integrated Garmin G1000H NXI glass cockpit with dual-channel full-authority digital engine control, which automatically manages fuel flow and engine limits so the pilot can focus entirely on navigation and airspace awareness. Powered by a modern Safran Arias 2R turboshaft engine, generating 505 shaft horsepower, it cruises at 144 miles per hour and features a wide, flat-floor cabin with stadium-style rear seating that ensures unobstructed views for every passenger on board. In my view, the Bell 505 is the smartest new-build turbine purchase on the market today, combining heritage mechanical reliability with cutting-edge avionics that make solo piloting safer and more intuitive than ever before. Which brings us to the question I want you to answer today. Looking at the proven, traditional mechanical simplicity of a classic Robinson R44 versus the digital glass cockpit automation of a turbine Bell 505, which philosophy would you rather rely on when flying into a remote mountain cabin? Drop your answer in the comments below right now. But while the 505 prioritizes pilot ergonomics and glass panel efficiency, our next rotorcraft was engineered specifically to turn scenic tourism and VIP travel into an art form. In 1994, the Airbus H130, originally launched as the Eurocopter EC-130, took flight as a wide-body, single-engine turbine helicopter optimized for panoramic passenger touring and ultra-quiet operation. The signature feature of the aircraft is its enclosed fenestron-shrouded tail rotor, which not only protects ground personnel from accidental blade strikes on crowded helipads, but also dramatically reduces the external noise footprint, making it the preferred aircraft for scenic flights over environmentally protected national parks. Equipped with a Safran Ariel 2D turboshaft engine producing 952 shaft horsepower, it cruises at 147 miles per hour and can accommodate up to 7 passengers in a unique, theater-style forward-facing cabin where everyone gets a wide-angle view through the massive wraparound polycarbonate windshield. If you ask me, the H130 is the absolute pinnacle of rotorcraft passenger comfort. A luxury cruiser where vibration-free engineering and panoramic aesthetics turn routine cross-country transfers into unforgettable visual experiences. Which brings us to our final entry, the blistering fast vintage military thoroughbred that brings our opening mystery to its jaw-dropping conclusion. And that jaw-dropping 193-mile-per-hour top speed is exactly why the aircraft I opened with, the demilitarized Cold War Aerospatiale Gazelle, is the most exhilarating civilian rotorcraft money can buy. If you want to see which buyer's guide we uncover next, the script is already in production, so hit subscribe right now and I'll see you in the next hangar. In 1968, the Aerospatiale SA-341 Gazelle was unveiled as a light turbine scout and light attack helicopter originally developed for the French and British militaries during the height of the Cold War. Engineered to hunt Soviet armored columns across Europe, it was the very first helicopter in aviation history to feature the revolutionary fenestron-shrouded tail rotor, paired with a sleek, aerodynamic composite fuselage that looked like it belonged in a science fiction film. Powered by a high-output Turbomeca Astazu 3 C2 turbine engine, producing 590 shaft horsepower, the Gazelle can reach an astonishing top speed of 193 miles per hour, making it significantly faster than almost every modern civilian helicopter flying today. Hundreds of these demilitarized airframes were eventually decommissioned and sold onto the civilian surplus market, where anyone holding a standard private rotorcraft license can legally purchase, register, and fly one as a personal aircraft. The Gazelle is without question the most radical vintage machine you can legally own today. An ultra-fast military thoroughbred that turns every head on the tarmac and outruns aircraft 10 times its price.